In this week's video, I head to the rocky shoreline of St Abb's Head in search of the elusive, intimate landscape. I explore the secret world of the limpet, find tens of thousands of gravity-defying barnacles, and what can only be described as blood-infused boulders. Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to another film. So today I'm at St Abb's Head, which is most noted for its seabird colony. Just behind me off to the left hand side you see the white staining on the rock, the big outcrop of rock just there. That's where the seabirds generally nest during the summer months, but I've not come here for that. Obviously we're in October now and those birds have gone. What I'm interested in is the rocky bay, the cove that's just down below me, which is called St Abb. Now I was down there a couple of days ago and the rocks, the rock formations are absolutely stunning. There's these blood red rocks that I've just never seen anywhere else in the country, and I'm really keen to explore the opportunities that they might provide me with this morning. There's obviously a beautiful scenery behind me. I'm not necessarily looking for that, but if I see something that appeals to me, I will certainly take it. What I'm really interested in is the little treasure trove of opportunities that lies amongst all those rocks down below. There's seaweed down there as well, there's tidal pools, there's all sorts of things to keep me going for literally hours if not days. Now it's obviously a big steep drop. I think there's about a 300-foot cliff behind me. I'm just going to take a little path that takes me down to the bottom there and get down there, get the gear out, just place it on the rocks and just spend some time just mooching about. The benefit of this place is that I don't have to carry my bag around with me and all my kit. I can literally put it down and just start nosing around to see what I can find. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Would you get a load of this? Absolutely stunning. So when I was down here a couple of days ago, the tide was in up to about here, just where these rocks end, and that bit of a stack, rock stack there, was completely surrounded by water and waves crashing over it. I wasn't really down here taking photographs, it was just what we'd taken in as part of a walk. But I'm not too fussed about that because, to be honest, when I did consider it as an opportunity for a photograph, as nice as the bay is, the big rock there, it's not really got a lot of shape to it. It's, when you look at it on a picture, and I will just show a quick one that I took with my phone, for all intents and purposes it is just a big black mass of rock. It's not got any, beautiful spires to it or anything like that. So it's not something that I feel that because the tide's not in I'm missing out on. What I'm really interested in is what's down on the floor more than anything. And as the morning progresses I think the tide is going to come in a little bit more, so I may well look at what opportunities that might bring as well. But for now, the best thing, like I said before, about this place is I can get the bag off. I know it's completely safe down here and I can just wander around to my heart's content, looking for all these little jewels that lies in amongst all these pebbles and seaweed. It's just everywhere you look there's potential opportunities for the camera. Right, bag off time, and I'll get on with the search. So just giving you a quick walk over the various colours and shapes and opportunities that are seemingly everywhere on this beach, if I can do that without falling over. So just going over the rocky areas at the lower part of the beach, and then as you get higher up you start to get different seaweeds and kelps starting to appear. Look at that one there, beautiful, really beautiful textures. And then you get more of a mishmash of different weeds all coming together where they've been thrashed against the rocks. So as you can see, lots and lots of things to look at, and the trick is being able to find some order among the chaos, just as we have to try and do when we're working within the woodland environment. So I think I've found my first image, and it's pretty much an abstract shot. It's clearly a rock, but I think the markings within the rock are so amazingly different, fantastic and detailed that I think you might even question that it is a rock when you see the image presented to you. And that's what I'm looking for in a lot of my images, is images that make you really ponder and think as to what it is you might be actually looking at. I don't know how the heck this rock has come to have this detail in it, but it really is fabulous, and it's a nice starter, I think, for the film to get one in the bag. And it's always nice to do an abstract. They're a little bit easier, I find, to find, not as complex as some of the other shots that I often look for, but nonetheless the patterning on this is absolutely stunning, and there's a little bit of a crease in the rock as well, which I'm going to incorporate within the frame just to create some opposing lines, just to make it that bit more dynamic. So I'll get the camera out and we'll get this one in to get it started, and yeah, should be an easy shot to get. I'm thinking my 120mm macro lens will be perfect for this. In terms of frame aspect ratio, I'm thinking 16:9, but it may well be any other combination, depending on how the lines actually fit when I get the camera up and against it. So let's get that set up. So here's my composition. As I mentioned, you've got these diagonal lines, opposing diagonal lines, which I wanted to incorporate within the frame. I'm still not sure yet about whether I want to take a little bit off the top and bottom. I may well leave it. There is some difference in terms of distance to the sensor between this top right hand corner and the bottom left. So this is a focus stack of about 5 images. Currently on f19 and 1 1/3 seconds. So you can see you've got this lovely blood red staining within the frame, and this nice silvering that the rock's also got, that the camera's picking up really well. What I've done is I've put my polarizer on, because what I wanted to do, in fact, if it comes across, you can see by rotating that to that point there, you get a more of a blood red section through the middle, which creates this nice diagonal here, and you've got this silvering on the top right and the bottom left, and that's what I'm going for. Got this really strange coloration in the middle. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's almost like a bluey red cast. Really liking the way that looks. So there we go. f19, 100 ISO, 1 1/3 seconds, and a focus stack. So I shall put that on now. So I spent about an hour on the beach since you last saw me, and what I've been doing is I've just been spending time observing the light, looking at different options and opportunities, just waiting for ideas to pop into my head. And one of the things that I noticed was, you see the little sunlight on the hill at the back here? Well, some of the little pools that's dotted around, when you get low down into them, the reflected light, you get the golden colours reflecting into those, and you get the contrast of the blue shadows, and that was quite nice. But I couldn't really come up with anything that worked. Now, what I've done is I've just walked around the backside of that big rock that I talked about earlier on. Just let me spin you around. So you see my camera there. This is the enormous piece of rock. And what you've got pretty much the tide line here, where it's continuously underwater from this point down when the tide's up. And you've got lots, and I mean thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of barnacles, these little tiny ones here, these little tiny ones, barnacles, and then you've got the limpets in amongst them, and there's lots of them. You even get sea urchins on occasions. So you see my camera is positioned here and it's facing upwards, and if you just look at the angle of the camera, the centre plane is on the position of this part of the rock wall here, and that rock wall there is very, very flat, and it's a nice easy composition, and it means that I don't have to worry too much about focus stacking and depth of field. I just use a single shot around about f/19 and I can get a lovely pattern picture. Now let me just bring you into my camera. So you see the shot that I've got here. Now if I just tilt you up to the wall, you can see just there the section of wall that I'm photographing. You can see there's just thousands and thousands of barnacles, and what I've done is I've picked out, where is it? That one there is the one that I'm focused on. Just bring you back down here. I can just shade the camera. You can see there's the single limpet there in amongst all the barnacles, and you've got that nice red coloration of the rock behind. So it's nice and easy shot really. 100 ISO f/19, 3-second exposure. I do have my polarize on. It's helping to just enhance the reds a little bit, but it's not doing a huge amount, I have to say. But it's a really nice abstract shot, and it really puts the limpet in its environment with all the barnacles around it. So just incidentally, I've got my 120mm macro lens on, so I'll put that shot on now. So I'm afraid I've been joined by other people. I suppose you can only expect a place to yourself for so long. So my last shot is something I've been playing with for a little while, and it's another picture of a limpet. And what I wanted to try and do was show one in its environment, in a real hostile environment in which they live. And by doing that, I've used the lighting conditions and a low-level viewpoint to really show it at its best. Now let me just spin that round. So the limpet in question is this little one here, and what we've got on the surface here, this where you see the lights bouncing off it, when I get the camera down very, very low, that reflected light goes very blue, and I've used the polarizer to enhance that. I'm actually down probably around about, this is the angle that I've got, so you can see there, if you screen off the top, you can see that the limpet just stands out nicely against its surroundings, just tucked into the rocks there beautifully. Not easy for me to film the back of my camera while I take this, but I will give it a quick go. Not easy at all, I have to say. So this is the viewpoint. I've not been able to show the actual picture in situ. What I've done here, you're actually looking at a picture that I've taken, and you can see what I'm talking about with this lovely light here on the bottom, just glancing with the blue sky above, and you've also got it at the top here. So you've got these three elements. You've got the bit of light there, and then the limpet just tucked into the rock beautifully there. What I've done for my exposure is I've really underexposed the shot just so that it picks out the shell, the lighter portions of the shell of the limpet, and avoids burning out the highlights within the blue there. Now I will show you the shutter speed settings and ISO that I've got, but it will obviously show the background, which is not the shot that I actually took. So if you look at the bottom there, we've got 800 ISO, f4 and 2/50th of a second. Now I used 800 because I had to handle the shot. I couldn't get my tripod in. Just put that shot back on. I couldn't get my tripod into position. The left leg was just against a rock wall, so I really couldn't get close enough. It had to be handheld. So in putting it at 800 ISO, I could comfortably handle the shot and get what I wanted. I think it took me about 3 attempts to get exactly where I wanted to be. This is a 120mm macro lens, and again I've got the polarizer on just to help reduce those reflected surfaces. So I'll put that on now. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, do consider looking at my new ebook, The Intimate Landscape. It's all about close-up shots, just like you've seen me shooting today. Lots of inspiration, big full-page images every other page, and over 10,000 words of insights and information about how I go about finding and executing these beautiful scenes. So I'm going to leave it there and say thank you all so much for watching. Images to come in just a second. If you're not already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and leave some comments below. Let me know what you think of today's images. If you want to support the channel more, don't forget to head over to Patreon. You can join there from as little as 99 pence per month. So until next time, I will say I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.